If the only reason you're switching is because you can make more money, you're switching for the wrong reason. Hello and welcome to Pillars of Wealth Creation, where we talk about creating financial success with a special focus on business and real estate. I'm your host, Todd Dexheimer. Now, let's get to it. Hello and welcome back to Pillars of Wealth Creation. I'm your host, Todd Dexheimer. With me, we got Matt Jones. Matt, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. It's another beautiful Minnesota day.
It is. It's warm today. I've been out in the mountains for the last 10 days, and man, it was like, of course, there's no humidity out there, but it last 5 days, I think it's been like 50 to 60 degrees and a little bit of wind, a little bit of rain. So today it's like just tropical coming back to Minnesota. So it's my first official day back. So
Thanks. Well, welcome back.
yeah, thanks. Sometimes you just got to unplug, refresh. It was really fun. What was really great is to just unplug and like not be hearing about anything other than just being out in nature, like enjoying the sights and the animals and just everything that's out there. So it was really cool.
Nice. And you got some great pictures. And my wife and I are going to be there in a couple of weeks as well. So I'm looking forward to that.
I can give you our full itinerary. It was pretty cool. So
great.
Well, cool. What are we talking about today, Matt?
Well, we're going to talk about switching asset classes. If you're investing in one particular type of real estate asset, and then you think like, well, maybe the grass is greener on the other side, or your plans change or the market changes where you need to change to adjust to what interests you the most or what's going to make you better money, how to handle that and when to do it.
Yeah. And first off, what I'd like to say is don't just switch because the grass is greener on the other side or because you perceive the grass being greener on the other side. Switch on for real purpose because people have become millionaires doing a ton of different things in real estate. They've become millionaires buying single family home portfolios. They become millionaires buying duplexes. They become millionaires flipping houses, wholesaling houses, buying notes, buying multifamily, large multifamily, buying commercial, industrial, land, senior housing. Like there's so many different avenues you can take. Don't just switch because you think the grass is greener on the other side. If the only reason you're switching is because you can make more money, you're switching for the wrong reason.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I think, like you say, you can make a lot of money with pretty much any type of real estate, and you just have to decide which one makes the most sense to you. If you're going to have the shiny object syndrome where like, oh, well, this one looks great, or like, oh, this one looks great too. If you're trying to do everything, you're going to do everything poorly. So it's better to just pick one and really stick to it if it really makes you thrive and enjoy what you're doing.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. I think that's very valuable. You've got to stay with what you're passionate about, what you're good at. And so why would you ever switch? Well, I mean, first of all, you've got to go with what you believe in. You've got to go with what is going to excite you. So why I switched and I didn't completely switch, right? So I went from flipping and buying 1 to 4 family houses to buying larger multifamily. For me, I switched because it was more of a time and a scale factor. I saw how much time it was taking me to do what I was doing and what I would need. And I knew there's by the way, there's ways to get scale in what I was doing. I just saw that way of getting scale something I didn't really want to do. I was going to have to build my own teams within greater. It just there was a lot. In my opinion, it was a lot more difficult to scale the way I wanted to than to transition to larger multifamily where there's already teams built out through property management companies. And I could surround myself with very knowledgeable people in the industry and fairly quickly scale that way. So that's why I switched because it felt like it was a good economies of scale. It was really easy for me to transition. And I really liked, and quite frankly, that's why I got into real estate, because I really liked cash flowing multifamily real estate. And I really liked the impact that I could make with a large amount of people and fairly quickly. Um, so that was my reason for switching. Um,
Yeah,
and
and
I've, go ahead.
well, I was going to say, yeah, as you know, I switched too. I started off in small multifamily, but then I had the same problem as you, where it's really difficult to scale. And then I found out about apartment syndication, which solved that problem. And that's why I switched.
Yep. Yep. And for me, look, I'm also doing other types of real estate, and there's a couple of reasons. And one, the senior housing, there's a big need in it. I think there's a big gap in that industry, and so I'm able to fill that, and I'm able to do some really positive things within the industry. And two is it provides me a really good amount of diversification within the portfolio, within the company, for my investors, for myself. And so I think that's a ton of value as well. And then it, I also have the right teams in place. I have the right people in place. I have the right partnerships in place. And so I think that's really what you want to be looking for as you transition and switch.
Yep, exactly. You got to put your or build your you put yourself in a situation where you're going to succeed, not just to switch for the sake of switching, like you say, but to be really thoughtful about it and deliberate in your actions with it.
Yep. Yeah. So, I mean, look, let's say you're flipping houses right now, and maybe you're burnt out, or there's good reason, and you want to transition into multifamily. I help people all the time do that through my coaching. They're flipping, they're buying smaller rental properties, whatever it might be. They want to transition to larger multifamily. So I help them get it through that process. One of the biggest ways, in my opinion, to be successful, and this is kind of what we've already talked about, is building the right teams. And part of that is finding the right partnerships. I think it's really valuable. When I transitioned, and I shouldn't say transition, when I started adding senior housing to my portfolio, the only way I was even going to consider doing that is finding the right partner. I wasn't going to do it on my own. I knew better than to do it on my own because I didn't know enough about the industry. The industry has a lot of nuances. It's not multifamily. And so I knew I needed to find the right person. The right person actually came to me, and that's how I got into it. But I wouldn't have done it without that. If the same opportunities came across my desk, they maybe would have excited me, but they also would have I just would have been turned off by them, because I would have known that yeah, these numbers are pretty awesome, but I know better. Like, I know better than to do it myself. But when the numbers came to me with the person that could help me achieve those numbers, that's when it started. That's when it makes sense. And I said, okay, this person can be my partner. We can do this together. And yes, I'm getting less of the cut. Sure. Not getting 100% anymore, right? Because I got a partner involved. But it's the only way for me to move forward. And I think that should be the case for most people looking to transition into something that they're not into, is look for the right people to put on your team. And it doesn't have to be a partner that takes 50% or whatever, but it has to be the right people.
I absolutely agree. I mean, educating yourself, reading books and watching webinars and such is really helpful. But partnering with somebody who knows what the heck they're doing in this new asset class, that's the most powerful way to really be successful with it.
Hey, real quick, I want to talk to you about the North Star Real Estate Conference. We've got the North Star Real Estate Conference. It's a third annual. Of course, we're back live this year after taking a 1-year hiatus and being virtual. We're live. We've got live and virtual options for you. So I'd love to see you there. North Star Real Estate Conference. It's all about cash flowing real estate. So we're going to be hitting on multifamily. We're going to be hitting on all things commercial. We'll be talking about syndications, asset management, all of that stuff that you're going to need to know, and the mindset behind it. We've got great lineup of speakers. So go on to northstarunlimited.live, buy your tickets now. Want to see you there. I want to network with you. I want to shake your hand. I want to get to know you. And we've got a ton of people that are going to be there wanting to do the same thing. So join us, North Star Real Estate Conference, October 7th and 8th. And it is in the Twin Cities at Mystic Lake Casino. So I hope to see you there. You know, we all think we can do it all on our own, which is great, or a lot of us do, including myself, right? But you just go so much farther with other people. And that's one of the beautiful things about if you're looking at transitioning, you're looking at transitioning into larger assets. That's one of the beautiful things about them is there's enough room. When you think of a single family, you're talking $100,000, $200,000, $300,000, right? When you're looking at a big asset, you're talking 10, 20, $30 million. Okay. Or $1, $2, $3 million. But either way, you're talking more zeros, which the more zeros mean the more cushion means the more room you have to give or you can give to other people.
Yep. Very
right?
good.
If 10% of $100 a month is not very much, but 10% of $1 million, that works out.
Yep.
So
Exactly.
yeah. So yeah. And I get people that ask me all the time, like, is it worth doing a deal if you're only going to get like 20, 30% of the, of the deal itself? Like, yeah. And in some cases, it might be worth it even if I'm only getting, 5, 10% of the deal. And for some people, especially if you're getting into it, it might even make sense to get 1% of the deal or less. So depending on where you're at, it might make a lot of sense just to get a small, very small portion of the deal and just be a part of it.
Yep. And you interviewed Cameron Roy a few weeks ago where he said, do you want all of a grape or a slice of a watermelon? Which is going to give you the bigger amount in the end?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Well, I guess it depends on how small you slice your watermelon, but you've got to look at what that slice is going to do for you in the future as well, right? And that's a big portion of it. I do hear that from people like, oh, why would I do that when I could just go buy my own single family house? And it's like, yeah, you're right. You're going to make more money on your own single family house than getting a very, very small portion, a sliver of this deal. But are you getting the experience? Are you getting the kind of title, I guess, if you want to call it. So the brokers start to notice you as a player in the industry. The lenders now say, hey, you've signed on this loan. Now you can go get another loan. That type of stuff that people start to see you as a player in the industry. There's something to be said about that.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. You sort of build credit, not just with the banks, but with the brokers and with other people in the business, so that it's easier for you to find deals, to get deals, to take them across the finish line.
Yep. So, how do you get in? How do you transition? How do you get into a new field? Matt, you mentioned the YouTube, the podcast, the books, the stuff like that. That's really important. You've got a great book, about real estate, which helps people know what even options are out there, right? And so they can read your book, which talks about other real estate books, which then dive deeper into each of those. So you can go ahead and read your book, get an idea, and then dive in deeper and really get knowledgeable. But beyond that, it's taking action, finding the right people, building the right teams, and really getting involved and making sure you're protecting yourself. Look, I don't know what inning we're in, but we are in not the first inning of this real estate kind of whatever you want to call it boom cycle. So this has been going on for many years. We've seen an upswing since about 2013, 14. Maybe we keep going. Maybe this goes to 2030, maybe it goes to 2040. I don't know. But at the same time, it could end tomorrow. It could end, you know, within the next couple of years. And the last thing you want to do is get into a new kind of sector and fail quickly because a recession hits. If you've got the right team in place, if you've got the right people in place, if you've got experts around you, you're going to weather the storm a lot easier and a lot quicker than if you just try to go at it alone.
Yep, exactly. If you're playing musical chairs and you wait too long to try to find a chair, then you're going to lose essentially.
And this is the time in the market cycle where people there's two types of people or three types of people, I guess. The people that are prudent and do it the right way. Then there's the people that get really antsy because they're having a tough time. Single family homes or whatever have gotten really hot. And so they're going to transition. They're going to go over to multifamily, or they're going to go to whatever. And they're just going to transition because it's gotten hot, and they're not going to do the right due diligence. They're not going to partner with the right people. They're going to jump in and they're going to get creamed. And then there's the people that are super cocky and confident because they've done really well. They've watched their single family portfolio increase and go from, the home being worth $300,000 to now $1 million, and they got all this money, and they're going to go and do the same exact thing, and they're going to get creamed. So be that prudent investor, be the one that surrounds themselves with the right teams, the right people, really gets educated and does things right so that you can make it through. Don't be lucky.
Yeah, exactly. If you had good luck and good fortune with single family, don't just switch to warehouses thinking it's going to work out just the same with the same processes and plan. It's completely different.
Completely different. So cool. Matt, man, that's all I got. What else? Anything else from you?
That's it for me. I mean, I would just say if anybody wants to check out my book, it's on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Audible, iTunes, Google Play.
Oh, and people got to go to the North Star Real Estate Conference too.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh.
I want to see people there. So.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, sign up for that at northstarunlimited.live.
Awesome. Well, Matt, you have a fantastic rest of the day. Make every day Saturday.
Thanks, you too.
Hey, thanks so much for listening. I appreciate you being a loyal listener. I would love to have you go on to our Facebook page and subscribe, give us a thumbs up, go on to iTunes or wherever you listen and give us a rating and review. Don't forget to subscribe. Your rating and review just helps us push this out to more and more people and continue to grow our audience and hopefully positively affect a ton of people out there that really need this and want this. So the other thing I've got for you is a free ebook on my website. So go on to venturedproperties.com, and download our free ebook on real estate and on syndication. And I've got some data points in there, some really good stuff for you. So I'd love to have you take a look at that. It's free. I'm not expecting anything from it. And also, look, if you want some help in multifamily, want some help learning, growing, getting your business off the ground, I would love to talk to you about what it would look like to work with me potentially and see if that's a good fit. So you can go to coachwithdex.com and check that out, and we can definitely have a call. Thanks a lot for listening. You make it a fantastic rest of the day. I'll catch you on the next episode.